All right, let's begin. For today, we will cover chapter, basically the second chapter of the semester on consumer behavior and utility maximization. Some, textbook they call it consumer behavior, and other textbook they call it utility maximization. Basically, the same thing. Okay, we are talking about how to guide or how consumer being guided in order for them to maximize their utility. Utility, you cannot go to any dictionary, Harvard dictionary or whatever dictionary, because they tend to suggest utility to be basic infrastructure like water supply. It's common understanding, okay, on the meaning of utility. But in economic utility, yes, it can refer to those infrastructure. But specifically, when we talk about consumer behavior, it refers to satisfaction, happiness, okay, well-being, welfare, okay, I mean, this kind of interpretation. All right. So basically, we'll discuss about utility and how consumer normally do the education, how they are guided based on the economic principle, and then eventually how actually utility been also the underlying force for the demand curve to shape up down sloping, sorry, and finally some real cases about some people, okay, why their behavior doesn't seem to be consistent with the theory, okay. And also eventually I will share some of the scientific research, okay, that study on utility. Of course, utility, because it's very abstract, sometimes it's not really directly measurable and quantifiable. Therefore, actually study on utility a lot, but in different meaning, not directly refer to utility, but it is actually referring to utility. So this is what I'm trying to share with you briefly, so that you can enrich your understanding and also way of doing research. Yeah. Okay. First of all, when we talk about consumer, we always refer to a very rational consumers. Later, when we discuss about firms, the same thing. Okay, we always assume consumers are rational. Rational in the sense that they always look for maximum return. For consumers, they are looking for maximum satisfaction, maximum happiness, maximum welfare improvement. For firm, they are looking for maximum profit. All right. So that's why we assume consumer always rational. In other words, they will make sure always well off and the highest possible improvement. In doing so, they have made a lot of decision, because we only have, every one of us, limited by budget. Okay, we have limited resources to fulfill our unlimited wants, okay, or unlimited demands. Okay, so budget constraint always limit, and that's why we always have to think. We are not looking. Constraint doesn't always refer to money. We also sometimes refer to time. Because every one of us, every day we only have 24 hours. Okay, if you spend already 12 hours, okay, in your office, then you will never be able to recover, and you will never be able to reuse the time. Okay, the same thing with money. Once you spend, no more recovery. Okay, meaning you have to forget about the money. Okay, unless you suddenly obtain another money, that's another story. But somehow our assumption, our time is limited to 24 hours, and our money also limited to whatever we have in our pocket. Based on this limitation constraint, we have to make a decision, okay, on what to buy, how much to buy. We go back to our what we have learned last week. We can also about when to buy. Okay, today or tomorrow. Of course, cannot be yesterday lah. All right. Now, the biggest issue when we talk about welfare, happiness, satisfaction, they are not directly measurable. Okay. Even though they are not directly measurable, but every one of us, surely we have our own perception on the perceived benefit. Okay. We consume pizza. Of course, there's not written there how much, how many satisfaction. Okay. You can earn. But somehow you have your own prediction for a piece of pizza, how much you can enjoy. Okay, the enjoyment. Okay, normally you can have uh, uh, your own way of judging, okay, and putting value. Of course, different people may have different score because some who love pizza, the first pizza they may give very high score. Those who are not very love pizza like me, still I can eat pizza, but I will rank maybe not like medium score. Okay. All right. But somehow, okay, whatever enjoyment, happiness, satisfaction that we may obtain from consuming any good and services, we call it utility. Okay. In other words, this term enjoyment, satisfaction, okay, and utility, they are actually the same. They are actually the same. Okay. But the scientific name for enjoyment, satisfaction in economics is utility. Okay. All right. So one thing for sure, when you buy something, if I mean again, rational means you are not forced. You are not forced. Okay, no one force you. You have your own way of judging. Okay, and based on your judgment, you decide whether to buy or not. Okay, when you buy, normally you believe the product that you want to buy or services that you want to get, surely something that will increase your satisfaction, your enjoyment. Therefore, in general, the more you buy, the more happiness, the more enjoyment. Therefore, your total utility, your total satisfaction will increase. Okay. Now, increase is one thing in total, but as more, units been consumed, let's say pizza, okay? First pizza, you very enjoy. Second pizza, yes, still very enjoying. But third pizza, yeah, enjoy still, but not very enjoying, okay? The fourth, fifth, eventually, there's a limit. Let's say the maximum you can take is 10 pizza. The moment you bring the 11 pizza, you start to vomit, okay? In other words, it may increasing rate and then start to fall a little bit, increasing but a slower rate, then eventually vomit. Vomit means falling down. So this later you will see the total utility curve will shape like this. Actually, when we discuss about production function in the upcoming lecture, the shape of production function almost the same to total utility curve. Right. Therefore, from here we obtain the so-called law of diminishing marginal utility. Meaning, as more and more things added into our basket. Okay. So of course, the total utility initially increase, okay, but eventually will fall. This is called law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, again, I repeat. What is marginal? Marginal is referring to small change. Okay, or to be precise, marginal utility here refer to additional unit of satisfaction or enjoyment, we call it utils. Okay, the unit for utility. By adding additional unit. Okay, let's say when you buy the fifth pizza, and then the additional satisfaction that created by the fifth pizza is called marginal utility of the fifth pizza. Okay, later you'll see in detail. Therefore, the decision on what to buy, how much to buy, very much depending on this one, this information. Okay, let's go by this illustration, fried chicken. Okay, number of pieces from 0 to 6. Okay, total utility increasing from 0 to maximum 54, but drop because of vomit. Too much. The maximum you can eat 5, but you eat 6. Therefore, the 6 tablet swallowed, but it eventually came out from our mouth, and therefore reduce your satisfaction. Okay, 54. The maximum, then just end up at 55, 51. Sorry. So if you plot, total utilities here versus quantity. Okay, so you will get this curve increasing at increasing rate, but accompanied by increasing at a slower rate and eventually declining. Okay, this one could be number 1. This one could be number 2. If we refer to this one, and this one refer to number 3, not 4, 3. Number 3. Okay, all right. This for individual consumption. So now we want to know, for every additional unit of fried chicken taken, how much that additional piece will bring additional satisfaction. So we call this one is additional satisfaction, or refer to additional satisfaction. Okay. You can treat marginality as additional satisfaction. Then you can easily understand. All right. The formula is changes in marginal utility. Sorry, not changes in marginal utility, but changes in total utility. Total utility, yeah. Changes in total utility equal divided by changes in demand, meaning quantity of chicken taken. So for this one, so 20 minus 0 divided by 1 minus 0. Okay, so we get 20. So this is how marginal utility is calculated. Let's go this one. Okay, 51 minus 54, so we get negative 3. 6 minus 5, so we get 1. So negative 3 divided by 1 equal to negative 3. So if plot this marginal utility, we get down sloping curve. This one, down sloping. You know, if you remember, this down sloping marginal utility is similar to what? Demand curve. Demand curve that we have studied last week. Okay. So actually, another reason, another explanation why demand curve is downsloping, because of diminishing marginal utility concept. Okay, all right. So now hopefully you understand this one. Okay, okay. When I mention additional satisfaction, okay, you have to assume like this. Okay, of course, it doesn't really mean correct, but to me, nothing wrong. Okay, nothing wrong. The only thing later you will see that actually you have to assume like $1. Sorry. Okay, you have to assume. Okay, you have to assume like this: $1, one happiness. It doesn't mean sure like that, but to me, we may disagree. But to me, I always agree. Later I will explain to you. Okay. And I forgot to explain. Remind me. Okay. Why I always agree with this. Okay. And nothing wrong. And if we observe inconsistency, why it is inconsistent? I will. Okay. I will try to explain at the end of the lecture. Right. So that's why from here you can see the first product offer the largest, the biggest happiness, and the fifth one still offer kind of happiness, although small. Okay, naturally, because we already take 5 pieces. Okay, all right. Budget constraint, as we have mentioned earlier. Uh, Budget constraint is always, the things that limit how many goods and services we could obtain. And therefore, to capture the budget constraint, okay, we always construct this marginal utility over price. Okay, so we construct this to help us to capture the element of budget constraint in the informations. Just now we only pieces total utility, and then eventually market utility. Now we have another information that we are required to construct in order to make a decision, okay, on what to buy, how much to buy. Okay, so let's say now we have two options only: chicken and tea. Okay, chicken and tea. We also not MU, but total utility here. Sorry, typos error. Okay, so this one is what we have discussed earlier. So I don't want to repeat again. So this one now number of tea same 0 to 6 cups, and then the total utility. Okay, total utility also increasing, but slightly less than chicken, except for this one. Okay, slightly higher towards the end. Meaning it decays a little bit, slow than chicken. So eventually we have the marginal utility uh, from the last cup. Okay, means one from the sixth cup offer negative. Maybe you start to feeling to vomit, okay, instead of enjoying. All right. But to another decision, on how much, what, and how much, MU over P is very important. Okay, so we calculate here. Okay, so we include here the marginal utility per price. Chicken, MU of chicken over, sorry, a little bit tired. Okay, divided by price of chicken. Okay, so the price of chicken is this one, $2 per piece. Price of tea, $1 per cup. Okay, so when we incorporate this, what we observe, so we get this, the third column for chicken, And the sixth column is the marginal order price for T. Now, what is the rule for utility maximization? The rule is simple. Okay, basically when we have two products, chicken and tea, we stop here. We stop here. But if we have more than two, we can just extend until C, whatever. Okay. In other words, the ratio of mu over p for chicken and tea should be equal. This is the first rule. Okay, the first rule. Second rule, you must exhaust your budget. Meaning here, after spending chicken and spending budget available almost zero. Okay, meaning you have to exhaust, preferably zero, but the smallest possible remaining. Okay, that's I mean the second rule. So with these two rules, let's check whether they have to consume both or only one, and if both, how many, and if only one, how many. Right, let's go. Okay, so the first rule, mu over p must be the same, equal. Okay, must equal. So we check 10 here, we have 10 here. So one possible combination, meaning 1 chicken, 3 cups of tea. Second combination, 5. So 5 meaning 3 chicken, 4 cups of tea. Third combination is 3. Okay, so 4 chicken, 5 cups of tea. So based on the equality condition, we have 3 possible combination. Right? But isunya which one? 3 all are possible. The rule is the one that will offer the highest utility. But which one? Okay, so the first option, second option, and the third option. Okay. So then better you calculate the total spending. How much each of the combination costs you. First one, okay, because the price of chicken $2 and price of tea $1 per cup. So just matter 2 times 1, 3 times 1, so you get $5 for the first option. Second option, 2 times 3, 6, 1 times 4, 4, so $10. Third one, 2 times 4, 8, 1 times 5, 5, so we get 13. So depending on your budget, let's say your budget is only $5, then you cannot afford number 2 and number 3. Too expensive for you. So you opt for number 1, and this will be the best. Okay, will be the best. Okay, let's say I don't agree. 1 piece and 3 cup. I want to change the option. Okay, I want to option that bring mu over p not equal. Let's say you talk about 2 chicken plus 2 tea. Okay, let's say 2 chicken and 2 tea. So let's check the total spending. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 1, 1. First, not possible. Okay, not possible. Okay, let's say I change the one that is possible. Okay, I change with the one that is possible. Let's say I don't want this one. I just want 2 chicken plus 1 tea. So 2 times 2, 4, plus 1 times 1, 1. So equal to 5. Okay, possible. Okay. Now, in terms of total utility, for 2 chicken, 2 chicken total utility is 36. 1 chicken, 20. So utility become 36 plus 20. Oh, I forgot. 36 times 20. Okay, times 20. So equal to 56. So you can see if you compare when mu over p equal higher. Okay, that's to justify. Of course, you have so many other options with 5 ringgit that in hand that you have, but surely the one that will give you the maximum satisfaction is when mu over p are the same. Okay, all right. Let's say now your father give you another $6. Now your budget increased to $11. So option 1 possible, option 2 also possible. Although it doesn't exhaust your budget, but you know, second option sound the closest. Okay, will bring the best option. Okay, not only possible, but it bring larger satisfaction. Okay, instead of 65. So you can argue, no, I don't want this, I want to try. If I opt for other combination, up to you. You just pick up anything that if, do not give the same mu over p. Okay, but surely you will not get the highest utility. Yeah. Okay. Option 1 possible, but bring less. Therefore, you don't opt for. Okay. Option 3 not possible. You only have $11. Option 3 cost you $13. We don't talk about credit. Don't ever ask. Oh, I want to buy in credit. You have a credit card. That was a different story. Okay, you can include in this discussion. Okay, credit card and whatnot. Okay. Now, let's say your mom came and another $3 given to you. Now all options are possible, but again, you always pick up the option that mostly exhaust your budget, because that will give you the highest satisfaction. Okay, so this one. Okay. Now, if we disobey the rule, I mean mu over p, you just pick up any combination that doesn't bring mu over p are the same. Okay, for both, or if you have more than that. Okay, so the example given here is, let's say with $10 or $11 that you have in your pocket, you may opt for 4 pieces of chicken and 2 cups of tea. Okay, in total it will give you 87, while the one that we just calculated just now 96. Okay, now it will not bring the maximum. Let's say you have by mistake chosen 4 pieces of chicken and 2 cups of tea. Okay, how to rectify this? Okay, you look at the marginal utility per dollar from 4th slice piece of chicken, only 3, only low. Okay, but marginal utility per dollar from second cup, still very high, which is 15. Meaning you can get more happiness by adding tea. Okay, you add more tea, most likely mu over p will equal, and then your satisfaction will also increases. Okay, so this is some of a simple rule. Okay, but normally we do. Okay, let's say you have a plate full with rice. Okay, but only 1 cup. Normally, you will not order. Very often, you may order another cup of water. Okay, any juice or tea or coffee. Okay, but rarely you ask for another plate of rice. Okay, apart from the price quite expensive. Very often your plate already full with food and then enough for your stomach. Okay, but water still many space and the price quite reasonable, and you that will improve your satisfaction. Okay. Now, what happen if price changes? Let's say price of chicken change from $2 to 1.5 drop. Huh? Okay, as we have discussed last week, two effect will start to play role, which is income and substitution. Okay, I don't want to discuss in detail. I just want to show here. Okay. You can see when the price originally 2, then you get equality. But once the price drop to 1.5, you can see inequality between mu over p of chicken larger than mu over p of tea. So something need to be done. Okay, either you increase the consumption of tea, or you may increase consumption of of chicken. But how exactly it may happen? Normally we recalculate mu of p for every layer, for every pieces. Okay, so the second example shows you cannot match equal figure. Okay, here 20, 15, 10, 5, 3, but here only 13, 10, 0.7, 6.7, 4.0, and 1. None of them are equal. So in this case, okay, I haven't prepared the final exam question. If suddenly by mistake, sometimes by mistake, sometimes intentionally, okay, not sure. Okay, but when you calculate, you couldn't get equal. It doesn't mean no division can be made. No, okay, still division has to be made, and this time around you have to find the closest score. Okay, so what I can figure out, the closest score would be 10.7 and 10, which brings 2 chicken and 3 teas. Okay, the gap is only 0.7. And this next closest possible combination would be 4 and 5, as well as 4 and 3. The gap is only 1. That's why these are two another next possibility. Okay. So try to calculate and tell me in the next class what will be the answer. Okay. So this could be the easiest. Okay, it could be the easiest way to conclude, and then you construct this figure. That's right. Total spending, total utility, and then from there you decide. Okay. Of course you have to determine the level of income first. Let's say you can stick with the previous example 5, 11, and 14. In these 3 cases, what most likely the best possible option that can maximize this consumer's satisfaction or utility. Yeah. Okay. So today's lecture very very brief. we almost to finish. Okay, we almost towards the end. Okay, so some confusion. So I took this from internet, okay, because they are, I will know them very 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 closely, but these are 4 famous actors, okay, in Bollywood in India. Okay, I don't know them. Okay, and they are very young, this one only 42. This one 32, and this one even younger. This lady 20. 25. And this one, not mentioned. Not mentioned, but from the face look very, very, very young. Okay. You know, generally they are well known, they are famous. Look at the appearance, they have money. Okay. So why they decided to commit suicide? Okay. This is very confusing situation. Okay. So what could be the anyone if you want to try? Okay. What could be you know the explanation for this? Anyone want to try? And this could be you know the reason why I believe 1 to 1 1 ringgit 1 happiness are still valid. Financial stress could be chill, but I mean that one you need to further further think. Okay, unhappy, true, but why they are unhappy? Okay, why they are unhappy? I mean, try to relate with the concept that we have learned just now. I mean, not love lah. Sometimes I feel sad, you know, looking because I came across like the death of actors, actress, and then wrestler also. Sometimes footballer also.
Psychological issue.
Yeah. You know, if you look, wrestler normally, they will overdose with drug. Albert Chu, your statement is correct. I mean, most of your statements are correct. Okay, but how we relate to the uh, theory that we have just done? Okay,
The
that's the important one. Anyone want to speak? You can speak. You can turn on your mic. It's okay. We're too early. We are about to finish. Don't worry. The next few slides just on the research. You know, how people do really you know people do really research this topic.
they too leverage on future money.
Okay, sorry, Albert. Not very clear. Wait, yeah, wait, yeah.
They too much
Okay.
leverage and rely on future money.
Make it simpler. Sure. I mean, relate to what we have learned. Okay, what you have mentioned all are correct. But what I want to say is how to connect with the key point that we just discussed.
Which mean that example they earn 1 ringgit but they
Ah,
use now 100 ringgit, something like that.
close, close. But I want to know the keyword there. the keyword. Okay. Almost close. Yeah, you are close. You are close.
Doctor, if not mistaken,
Yeah.
because they are too rich, so to them, every 1 ringgit to them actually don't mean any more happiness.
Close, but not not yet. Pointing to the right things that are not bankruptcy. Okay, good
Can I
try.
ask a question?
Yeah, try. Have a try.
I think the marginal happiness I've heard of Wildscape's describing.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that
Not really. Okay. Actually, but the point whatever you have mentioned is correct. But actually, they are pointing to one point. Okay. Let me repeat. Okay. Good try. Good try.
Diminishing consumer satisfaction.
Agree, but not really. Okay. Let me explain to you. Okay. Let me explain to you.
For my opinion, their
Yeah.
happiness decreased to the negative already. That's why they commit suicide. Like 1 ringgit happiness, it's still 1 ringgit. We tend to pay for it.
Close.
When
not
the
really
utility
not
is
really hitting
going
the
down to
the
negative,
keyword.
yeah.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. You're right. But I want to know the basic reason for all those choices. I mean, you mentioned about zero, negative, declining. Yes, all true. Okay. But what exactly the keyword? The keyword is Close, Dalila. Close, very close. Okay, my point is simple. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, where this 20, 36, 46, 52 come from? Anyone? Yeah, close. Simu, okay? Assumption or your own personal belief or perceived benefit. I mentioned just now perceived benefit. They are all perceived benefit. Okay. Meaning there's no black and white written statement that how much you will get for every piece of chicken taken for first, second, third, and unlimitedly. Okay, so whatever score here is based on your own. Okay, meaning you may believe the first chicken taken will give you 20 satisfaction, but it could be actually not 20. It may actually give you 40. Why? That's why sometimes you see people look very poor, but they look very happy. Okay. They look poor, but they look very happy with the simple clothes. Sometimes a lot of hole here and there, but they are happy. Okay. Or those who may decide to commit suicide, they may actually they are not really good in chicken. Okay, so they may only earn 5, or even at the first consumption they may already -3. Okay. In other words, what the message tell us, all the benefit, okay, it's not directly measurable. Happiness is not measurable. Therefore, if we wrongly pick up the product, okay, goods and services that we believe as, giving us kind of benefits, but actually it doesn't. Okay, or it it may not suitable for you. Okay, that's why every one of us, when we do consumption, we have to think many times. Okay. In particular in Islam, I think all religion are the same in the sense that you cannot just think of yourself. Okay, that's why now when the emphasis of the world moving on ESG, okay, ESG, ESG, E stand for environment, okay, environment, social, and governance. Okay, now individually we also have to have this kind of value. In other words, sometimes we may get more enjoyment when we do spending on ESG, spending on others, be good to others. Okay, this could also add more values to us. Okay, so choosing the right product, okay, that eventually doesn't harm environment, doesn't harm social at large, is the best gift, the best happiness return to us. Okay, so they may pick up certain things. For instance, they buy house, expecting house can give them happiness, but actually they are not looking for house. The best thing that they that can give their happiness could be helping their family members, for instance. Okay, maybe some of them are sick, some of them are desperate, looking for something. Okay, for expenses. Okay, so helping them could be the best. I don't have the detail, but just kind of general discussion on it. Yeah. So in other words, they may frustrated of expecting the thing that they buy will give them maximum satisfaction, but instead they got something else. Okay. Of course, if I'm not mistaken, one of them I read in detail in the notes. I don't know what you call it. Internet or internet bully, something like that. Okay, been criticized a lot. Okay, been receiving huge critics in the internet, okay, in the media, social media. Okay, so they cannot stand with the the pressure. So I mean, this is something I heard actor or actresses in Europe, in US, even now in China, in Korea. Okay, Japan not to mention. So long time they've been practicing suicide. Okay, whenever they fail to achieve something, okay, they feel that you have no value at all to stay in this world. So you have to kill yourself, something like that. So in other words, it's very important for every dollar that you want to spend, make sure we put in the right place that can really bring us happiness. Okay? So that, I mean, eventually, you know better what you need. Okay? So we have to figure out, every one of us has to figure out, what best suit to us. Okay? All right. So value is very subjective. That's why you have to really correctly set the value. For every product, you should have to correctly set the value, and then you decide on what to consume, how much to consume. Okay. Then yeah. I mean, hopefully we can be happy throughout our entire life. Huh? Okay. So this basically the conclusion. Huh? Actually, not wrong interpretation, but more wrong valuation, wrong judgment on the value to be obtained. Okay. All right. Now we go by some of the how this research can be done. Okay. All right. From Hegel, I think most of you, if you have taken machine learning class, predictive class, you may expose to Kaggle, okay, a platform that offer a lot of data set. One of them is data set for EDA, okay. So from EDA, I realized we can have this kind of utility function, okay, meaning utilities or satisfaction is as a function of price. X can be set of of item like brand, size, quality, score, rating, when or not. Okay, it can be if you use dummy. Okay, on the attributes, for instance, sporty, racers, I mean elderly, I mean youth, whatever, you can use dummy. Okay, 1 0. If sporty 1, no sporty 0. Okay. And C, could be difficult terms. You can just determinant. Okay, use determinant. Consumer preference. Okay. Okay, preference or factors. Okay, like income, loyalty, and dress. Okay, and you, how to measure you? Okay, that's why earlier I mentioned that we cannot measure directly. Okay, you. Okay, Yi question. Okay, don't worry. I mean, just turn on your mic and then ask question. Okay, if you have anything. Okay, then if you cannot directly measure how much happiness, sometimes you can use the closest indicators. I have one close friend from Indonesia. We now preparing a paper, an article on happiness index. Okay, this index been calculated for Indonesia only. Okay, so we're still developing the model completed, but I commented some issues with the current draft. So my counterpart still revising the article. And then you can also look at the rate of crime. Okay, because of course, let's say for individual, you can how many times they involve in crime. Okay, robbery, okay, theft and whatever activities. Okay, because that represent unhappiness. Okay, it can be health. How much they always in very quiet, okay, and then very temper. These are because some of the outcome can justify or represent the level of happiness you have. Okay, so in other words, you can think the closest measurement, the indicators to represent you. Okay, if you cannot directly measure the satisfaction, right? The easiest way is how much they, consumption. Consumption can be by itself, okay? By itself, tell us that you are happy, okay? That's why you consume a lot, okay? Drug, okay? Good or bad, I'm not too sure, okay? But when you're happy with drug, you consume a lot till you die, for instance. Okay, not good example, okay? Just for joke, okay? But this is how you can develop further, okay? The you. And then eventually you get this one, okay. If you want to go by machine learning, predictive analysis, happy or not happy, okay? You can use this index. For instance, if you can construct happiness index, okay, let's say 1 to 10, you can divide. If the score is between 1 to 5, not happy, 0. 6 to 10, happy, 1. So you become dummy, 1 or 0. Then you can use things like logic, probit, okay, to predict. And eventually later, given the price, given the attribute of the people, then you can predict, okay, if my son, if my daughter, if my wife, if my uncle, cousin, niece, nephew, they buy, will they be happy or not? Okay, then, that's kind of modeling you can do, all right? Just to share how you can do research on this topic. Yeah. Okay, another is utility on vehicle energy. Okay, another big data set. You can go and search for this data set. Okay, this the proposed. Look at the information that available. So this can be the best model, good model for you to refer to. Okay. Again, so some information yet several time, distance, energy consumption, okay, and the speed variant, and then congestion. Congestion refer to driver traits, okay, whether electric vehicle or ICE. Then you interact with energy all time. Okay. These are some of the based on the information availability. I constructed this. Okay, but of course they are all require justification. Okay, why you should include that. All right. Eventually, if you want to write the article, okay. But how about you? Okay, then you can be many things. Okay, side of spending, meaning how they determine. Okay, if you have to travel longer, then you have to spend more. Okay, for instance, then also then what happened to your blood pressure? What happened to your because they are all represent your happiness in a way. Okay, then your satisfaction. Okay. In other words, this is how normally we do in economic, in research. Whenever we could not get, direct measurement, we will rely on the second best measurement. Okay. Okay. Another option. Okay. Okay. You can be anything. Okay. What I borrow from Sweet and Adamovics 2001, very old articles, but in very very high quality journal. Okay. So they summarize. Basically, utility can be a function of CEZ. C can be environment complexity. Okay, for instance, price volatility, price uncertainty, and then spec, and whatever unique attributes of the product. Okay. E, decision maker, maybe on your skill, your budget. Okay, what and whatnot. And then Z, conceptual or demographic covariance or determinant, like gender, household size, occupation, and so on and so forth. Okay. In other words, if you want to proceed with utility behavior study, of course, then eventually this one, you have to decide also what are you looking at. Okay. If you look at labor satisfaction, let's see what can represent labor satisfaction. For instance, low turnover. Okay, I give you example. If let's say you are talking about labor happiness, okay, then you may use low turnover, okay, and then higher productivity, and then what else? Less MC. Okay, medical certificate, meaning less medical leave, and so on. Okay. So that's why I mentioned earlier, there are many studies actually related to utility, but they are not directly called as utility study because the way they measure it different. But actually the meaning is still utility. Yeah, happiness. Okay, with that, very efficient. 1 hour enough. Okay, for today lecture. All right, basically, I'm done. Okay. How this information can be used for SWOT? For your first assignment. Okay. So it's very simple. Very simple. You can think of price. You can plot the pattern. If the pattern shows kind of favorable pattern, then you can put under either strength or opportunity. Okay, then you let's say you want to include brand, size, quality. If they all look positive, you can include under strength or opportunity. If they are showing kind of weaknesses, then you can put under weaknesses or threat. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, with that, I think that's all for today.